All right, how you doing, everybody? I'm Maceo Berry. This is the debut of State of Mace. So today we are at an Ohio football combine about high school students. So y'all don't know as much as I don't know, so we're all going to be in for a surprise, but it's going to be a fun day, so let's go. How you doing? I'm with Scout Mark Porter at the football combine. So Mark, can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, I'm a scout for scoutingohio.com. And what I do is I travel around the state for about 80 to 100 colleges, and I put together a scouting report. Whether it's going to games, combines, watching players on film, we put together a report for the colleges buy the report. That should help these kids get noticed.
All right, another question. As far as like looking at talent, what is it that you're really looking for?
Yeah, there's probably 150 kids here today, and basically you're looking for the best of the best. You know, the way they break guys up into different positions, you're looking for the best in each position. So on a day like this, there's probably 150 kids here, but at the end of the day, there's probably 15 to 20 that we'll take and look at again, which are the best of the best from this combine. And then when I do that, I go to other combines, you kind of compile a list, and as that list starts to stack up, you can start to see who the better players are.
Okay, I go on like Rivals.com and Scouting.com. So how would you like rank like the best?
Yeah, we grade them real easy, like an A, B, C, or D. And A prospects we think can play like a top 25 type program. B prospects can play like maybe the top 75, top 25 program. And then the C prospects would probably be more like MAC prospects. You know, so we kind of break it down like that. And then we can break down where we grade Division II players and Division III players. And the more players we get in that list, the more you can see the list and how it stacks up. Early in the year, the list is very short. Later in the year, it's very long. 2005, and I was a coach at Youngstown. We're based out of Youngstown, and I was just helping the players that I coach try to get scholarships, and we made them videos and we put them online, and you know, the college coaches responded to it, and eventually we turned into a full-fledged recruiting service.
Okay, do you have any like most notable players that you scouted?
Yeah, and people ask that all the time, and it's always like a daunting question for me because you know we've scouted Braxton Miller when he was a freshman, and Johnny Simon when he was a sophomore, Cardinal Mooney. Those are the players that resonate most with Ohio people or the Buckeyes, which, you know, when I worked for the Bucknuts, we covered every kid that went to Ohio State. And, you know, those were a lot of the best players. And obviously players going to Michigan and Notre Dame. I mean, since 2005, our job was to cover all of them. So if they did go to one of those colleges, we covered them. So when you ask that question, it's like, you know, what a great amount of players you've seen at Notre Dame and Ohio State over the years. In some way, we scout those players first. And, you know, I guess if you were to pick one, I think I can remember seeing Braxton Miller as a freshman in high school when he was starting at Wayne, and you could see the start of his career then.
As far as you think that your company will expand like to the pipeline states of Kentucky and West Virginia and Pennsylvania?
You know, I have a website, and I've franchised my website to other states. We have a site in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Florida, Texas, and California. I don't do any of those areas. I don't watch those players, but there's a guy like me or guys like me in those states. And if you went to our websites, they're all the same. So in a way, the technology goes to other states, but it's just too many players for me. I can only handle Ohio.
Okay.
Overwhelming.
How many players do you think you scout like per year?
This year I did written reports on about 2,200 players. Yeah, so we see a lot of players. You know, I mean, I go to probably 2 games every Thursday night, 2 games every Friday night. I probably go to 3 or 4 games every Saturday, and it just goes through the whole season. And, you know, in the summer, I'd probably go to 50 combines. So I'd probably see 10,000 players to get to that 2,200, and then only about 150 of them will get scholarships. So that's how many I have to get through. That's why colleges use the service, so they don't have to go see all 2,200 players. If they want to, they can, but it's nice when someone can say, start off with this 50 and then go to this 50, and, you know, like like you're saying, work your way through A, B, and C's.
So with the business, do you have a lot of scouts that go along with you to break down, or you just pretty much do it alone?
Yeah, I do it alone right now. My wife helps me out. She takes pictures of the games and stuff, and she'll tag along. But yeah, it's really a daunting task at the beginning of the year when you're starting with one player in each class.
Yeah, you're a busy man. You got to travel all over Ohio. You
Yeah.
got to write the reports.
Like today, I mean, leave from Youngstown in the morning. I won't get back to Youngstown till late at night. But this is what you do when you're a football scout. You travel. Same thing with NFL scouts. That's what they do is they travel. That's probably the number one thing a scout does. Hence the word scout.
What else? As far as do you have any like pitches that you give to the recruits as far as going to college?
Yeah, I have a lot of pitches I give the kids. If you follow me on Twitter or something, I give out little recruiting pieces of advice. But I'll tell the kids not to worry. You know that it'll happen for you if it's meant to be. If you're that good, they're going to find you and you're going to get your scholarship. A lot of kids and parents spend a lot more time worrying than they should. Stuff like this, I tell kids to get to. It's very important. In June, the college coaches have camps, and I think those are tryouts. So I think the kids should get to these tryouts and try to earn scholarships. A lot of times, they'll tell kids, you play at a small school, no one will find you. Well, if you go to the college camp and you do well, you'll get your scholarship. So the days of not being found or being lost in the shuffle, it's more on the kids now to get to the camps.
From your recruiting, do you give kids a great opportunity? Because a lot of these kids now kind of go unnoticed. So,
and then when we started, that's what we kind of said. If you put your film on our site, you're not going to go unnoticed. We're going to put you in our report and make sure you get to college programs. And, maybe before the internet, there were days of, the kid only sent out 5 or 10 tapes. Well, only 5 or 10 people saw him then. Well, now on the internet, fans see it, other coaches see it. The numbers are just way, way up. It's almost overwhelming.
Yeah, with the growing technology and social media, so pretty much a lot of these kids will have the opportunity to shop around their tapes so they can get more exposure.
That's it too. More colleges can recruit Ohio. Like a lot of times, Kentucky maybe not would recruit Ohio, but now they will. Now they'll make the drive up because they know who's here before. You just can't drive up like me and a scout and just start looking around. You got to kind of know where you're looking. And college coaches only have so much time in a day.
From a recruiting standpoint, what did you most look at out of the players? Is it more like from size, agility, awareness, or more of a physical?
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 parts to it, and you have to have all of them. So a lot of kids might have Division I speed, they don't have Division I size. A lot of kids might have Division I size, but they don't have the strength. A lot of kids might have the strength, but they don't move as well. So you're looking for that perfect puzzle of speed, size, ability, being a good football player. In the classroom is the other part. If you don't have the classroom, you can be big, strong, and fast, and that won't matter. So that's why when you look through 2,000 players, a lot of them I like a lot. A lot of them I think maybe if they got their chance, they could make it, but they're not the complete puzzle. And that's usually who gets the scholarships.
Outside of football, do you kind of look at their behavior and their work in the classroom? Because a lot of the colleges kind of recruit troubled athletes, you could say, and they have their issues when they go to a program, and that can lead to.
Yeah, that's a really good question. All programs have their different level of tolerance for players. The saying goes, the better you are, the more trouble you can get in before they'll get rid of you.
Yeah.
And that's very true. And at ages like this, you want to give kids second chances. You don't want to say a kid made a mistake early on and not give him that chance to get his degree and to let football further his life. And I think some programs won't mess with a kid who's got a 2.2 or a bad grade point average or maybe a bad off the field story about him. I don't get into that stuff too much, but I'll follow kids on Twitter or Facebook, and some of them will give you an indication of their personality right there. They'll tell you if they're a smart person or not a smart person. I mean, that's your resume for your $100,000 scholarship, so you don't want to post things on those environments where they're going to get you in trouble or you're going to lose that money.
You hear that?
Yeah. And it happens to probably 4 or 5 kids a year. And what I'll say is if a scholarship's worth $100,000, a lot of kids will tweet away $100,000 by what they say.
I did not know that.
Yeah. College coaches will follow kids on Facebook and Twitter. And, if I'm going to give you $100,000, I want to know a little more about you than how you do out there on the football field. And this social media is kind of giving coaches that, that little indicator.
I'm a graduate of the University of Toledo. Have you ever scouted players that went to UT?
Oh yeah. Toledo is one of the colleges that uses the service. Obviously, we're in Toledo here today, but they recruit Ohio. They probably have 75% of their team from Ohio. Definitely a lot of Ohio. I can't think of one Toledo player in particular, but a bunch. I know there's some Glenville guys. Had success up there. Scouted all the Glenville guys.
Cardinal in Youngstown, there's quite a bit. And then a lot from Cincinnati and LaSalle prospects.
A lot of times I'm at high school games on Saturdays, so I don't get to see a Toledo play on a Saturday or something. So I kind of lose track of who their starters may be, but I know they're pretty Ohio heavy.
Which one would you say is the most football-ready town out of Ohio? Produces the best athletes?
Because I'm from Youngstown, people think it's them. Because I'm in Toledo, I can say Toledo, but it changes literally every year. And it's based on population, to give you a simple answer. Cincinnati's the biggest. They usually have the most, then it's Columbus. They usually have the second most. But there's places like Toledo or Youngstown that don't have big cities, and they will produce a lot of talent. Just, if college coaches knew that, they'd be sitting in those towns waiting, because you can't predict where the genetics and everything are going to match up.
Because Toledo, I've seen they produce quite a bit. Chris Wormsley for University of Michigan.
Yep, Wormley, a lot of guys.
I'm pretty proud of Toledo producing a lot of talent.
I find that in most places I go to, they want me to say their town. That's what makes it great.
And Kevin Koger.
I remember scouting him in Toledo Whitmer.
So you've been doing this for almost...
since 2005.
You got a strong program.
Thank you.
You have a lot of kids out here today. Hopefully they're in the next future. Talented class coming out of 2018, 19.
Yeah, and that's what I'm here today for, is more the younger guys. To see the juniors I probably have seen before, but I'm looking for the next Kevin Koger, the next Chris Wormley, the next whoever maybe.
What grade did you start?
It's never too early. It's never too early. I have the 2017 report, but it's too early to say if those kids are or not prospects. It just, you follow them because they're doing well at that age, but it doesn't mean they're going to be the next guy.
Yeah, because I know some colleges kind of recruit kids when they're like in the 7th grade. It's like, how can you tell that they have like the greatest potential?
You really can't, you really can't.
So you think that's like more of a publicity?
It is, and sometimes the coaches that offer a kid when he's in 8th grade aren't even the head coach of that school by the time the kid gets there. That's 5-6 years away, so they never really maybe even have to honor that commitment. So it's more of a publicity thing when it happens. Okay. I appreciate your time.